Let us put ourselves in the presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us pray the Hail Mary in a song.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Mary, help of Christians, pray for us. Saint John Bosco, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please stand for the Philippine National Anthem with your right hand on your heart.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Maayong gabi, mga kaubanang ginikanan ug mga magtutudlo. Ingon man sa mga tinahod natong mga Salesiano, mga Bosconian alumni ug pipila ka mga kahigalaan. Welcome to our second Don Bosco Cebu Parents Teachers Community Association webinar. This is organized by our Parents Development Committee while our children remains in distance learning, while Cebu and the rest of the country remains in modified general quarantine due to COVID-19 pandemic. This time, our webinar is about managing and building up family resources. It will be in two parts. First, about living within your means, and second, on Stock Market 101. To welcome us all, our President for School Year 2020-2021, Don Vincent Habagan.
Good evening fellow parents of Don Bosco Technical College Parents Teacher Community Association. I am your President Dan Habagat, and I would like to welcome you to our webinar. We have two speakers that's going to teach us how to handle our finances at home and how to invest them. So please make yourself comfortable and listen to our speakers. Thank you and welcome again.
Daghang salamat, Mr. President. Before we continue with our second PTCA webinar, that is Managing and Building Up Your Family Resources, we have a request to all the attendees. First, to those in Zoom, kindly put your mic off or in mute while the presentation is ongoing. For any question, please post it in the chat box. For those watching on Facebook Live, you may write your questions using the comments facility. Kindly indicate the name of the speaker you want to answer. The speakers will be responding to it during the Q&A session. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present to you our first speaker, Jesus Cardosa Jr. He is a seasoned workforce management professional at Qualfon Philippines Incorporated, serving as account workforce manager for a large telecommunications account. In his role now after over 10 years of BPO experience, he ensures solution and support for forecasting and budgeting. Credentials enough for the topic we ask him to tackle: how to help families live within their means. Friends, please welcome Jesus Cardosa Jr.
Good evening, parents and the organizers of this event, and thank you for inviting us to share insights in handling family resources. We will be focusing some tips in practical money management and investment strategies in this session. Right? And these concepts are primarily based in this book, The Secret to Saving and Building Your Future, Become Your Own Financial Educator. It was published and launched by IMG. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jesus Jess Cardosa. I'm one of the Senior Marketing Directors and Wealth Academy Trainers in IMG. And I am also a licensed life insurance underwriter. And I'm currently working in one of the BPO companies in the Philippines as account workforce manager. Actually, we are in a massive campaign to reach 30 million financially educated Filipino families by 2030. We use this book to help spread the good news as fast as we can because of its down-to-earth approach and concepts about financial management and financial literacy. Right? So first part of this book, it tells us about knowing the basic financial concepts. So one of these concepts is how to build a strong, solid financial foundation. What are the building blocks in putting up our financial house? So in our solid financial foundation, it's like building a house. We need to build it from ground to up. We can't start building our house starting from the roof, diba? Dili man pwede nga magtukod ta sa balay una ang atong atop before ang atong foundation. So same as with our financial foundation, we need to build it from ground to up. So we need to understand about healthcare and protection. So protection is more of life insurance. We need to manage or eliminate debt. Emergency fund, we need to put it up, and investment in order for us to achieve our financial goals faster. So we should consider our healthcare and protection as a priority. That's why naa siya sa first two sa atong foundation. Why? Because regardless if how much money we save, Bisan daghang kay ta gisave nga kwarta, but possible in one illness tanan savings nato mawala, right? Or in case the breadwinner dies, bisan natay savings, it won't be enough to sustain the family, right? Okay, getting long-term healthcare and life insurance are the best investments. So actually, kani sila nga mga products sa financial industry, there are also investments, right? A strong foundation will result to you having sturdier finances that can withstand any money-related storms and earthquakes, including pandemic kanang nahitabo karong 2020. So following these 5 building blocks will help build and secure your financial future. So the reason why we presented this one, because this is how we should be building our solid financial foundation. At the same time, in connection to the topic that we have in this event, handling family resources, we need to ensure that our hard-earned resources are properly allocated to the things that our family really needs. Okay, moving on, the X-curve concept is one of the most powerful concepts in financial coaching. This will tell us to understand how our responsibility decreases over time. At the same time, we need to increase our savings or our wealth. So this is actually the plane of life. When we are younger, we have big responsibility and we don't have savings. So meaning, if we are still starting a family or the kids are still small, napatay mga gastuhon sa eskwelahan. So basically, we are primarily depending on our income to sustain our family's needs, right? Supposedly, over long term, we need to increase our savings. At the same time, magkanaog sa dapat ang atong responsibility. Because in this age, when we are older, we need to ensure that we are more secured financially. Kaya mabot ang panahon nga we can't work for the money anymore, right? So, and then here comes the two realities in life that can happen to us. What if we die too soon? Or what if we live too long, right? So dying too soon, unsa atong solution, ana? What if we die too soon sa diri nga stage wherein we have big responsibility and we don't have savings yet? And then we have a family to grow, we have dependents, right? So the solution for us to ensure that our family will be taken care of even though we are no longer around is to get life insurance. So I'm not selling life insurance here, but I'm still I'm only trying to emphasize how important life insurance is in building our solid financial foundation. Right? So again, our solution for the possibility in life that we can die too soon is life insurance, right? Another reality is, what if we live too long? So meaning, tiguang ta, so kinsa may moalaga sa ato, who will take care of us, right? So if we are older, at the same time, we can't work for the money anymore. So we need to ensure that we are generally secure so money can work for us during this time, right? So unsa atong solution when we live too long? We need to understand how to invest or know how to invest and get a long-term healthcare. Actually, ako akong wife, we started our long-term healthcare investment as young as napami sa 20s na mo, right? Because we believe that karon ang panahon nga dapat nato mukuha ani because we can still work for the money, because after 60 years old, or after we retire, if we can't work for the money anymore, at least we already have a healthcare or a long-term healthcare that will protect us if ever we need to get medical assistance, right? So chapter 2 of this book, it's choosing the right healthcare. So aron dili masayang atong kwarta, we need to ensure that we choose the right healthcare. In the Philippines, a lot of sick people die not because there is no medicine or treatment available, but because they don't have money to pay for this cost. This is very true. So if we are still working in a company with a healthcare coverage, automatic, pag magsakit ta, we go to the hospital, executive or in a very good room, right, or in a private room. But the moment we retire or the moment we resign, or we are out of the company and we don't have money for healthcare, possible nga naata sa ward or naata sa charity. Right. So in order for you to decide faster on what healthcare to choose, to ensure that you maximize your money or your resources, you need to ensure that it has these 4 quadrants or quadrants of healthcare. So if you're going to get healthcare, ensure that it has short-term and long-term healthcare at the same time. It has life insurance and it has savings and investments. Right? So understanding the purpose of insurance. So second sa ato ang solid financial foundation is ang protection or life insurance. Kasagaran, this is a reality. Ang car nato ug ang balay kay they are properly insured because it's required by the bank if it's mortgage, or dili ta maka-renew sa ato ang registration if we don't have insurance for the car, right? But the question is, ang tag-iya sa balay or ang ga-drive sa car insured ba? Right? How are we going to protect our family if we're not insuring the primary breadwinner, which is us? Right? So often, the most important insurance that can protect our family and our children is the one not taken seriously. And usually, ang life insurance sa tao kay mas barato pa jud na siya compared sa insurance sa sakyanan ug sa balay. And it's the most important insurance that we need to get. Right? So chapter 4 of this book talks about debt and how to manage debt effectively. The reason why we need to manage debt is because ang debt is the number one termite of our wealth, and it can turn into a disease, right? It could control our life, diminish our happiness, and limit our freedom. So yun ani, pag tied up ta sa utang, murag ang ato ang paningkamot is murag wala lang siya bili, right? So you can never be truly free until you are debt free. So we have separate talks about debt management sa IMG that is given for free as well. Right. Number 5, or the concept in chapter number 5 is talks about building an emergency fund. So pareho karon, emergency ni siya because of the pandemic. So a lot of people lost their job, lost their income. So what will happen to us in the next few months? How can we survive? So that's the purpose of emergency fund. No matter how much you plan in life, the unexpected things will happen. To prepare life's little disasters, set up an emergency fund to help pay the unforeseen expenses. So sample, loss of job, nawadan og trabaho, extended hospitalization. Ang atong healthcare coverage is only 100,000, but ang atong hospitalization cost is already at 200,000. So emergency fund, we can use that if we have one. Tragic death, it could be dili jud sa ato directly, but it could be sa atong other family or relatives. Catastrophe, such as this pandemic, typhoon, or earthquake, right? So in the financial industry, the recommended emergency fund that we need to build is at least 3 to 6 months of our total expenses of the family. So for example, atong family, ang total expenses nato, tanan-tanan na, including utilities and food, is 20,000. So we need to build an emergency fund of 60,000 pesos at least. So probably you would question me, Jess, kanang ang pandemic ay more than naman 3 months. Abot na siya og 7 months or 8 months or even going 10 months, etc. Right? So actually, the emergency fund, it does not guarantee you to survive in how many years, because what you put up is only 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So basically, the 3 months that is given as an allowance is the time that we need to look for another source of income. So at least we have 3 months na dili ta maghuna-huna. How are we going to sustain the family? How are we going to sustain all the other expenses without getting into debt? Right. So chapter number 6 of this book, it talks about saving the right way. This is more of investment strategies, ang mga concepts on how we can choose the right vehicle where to put or to invest our money. So kasagaran, pag open nato sa atong wallet, mayroon tayo, I've been working hard all my life but I wasn't able to save anything. Where did my money go? Asa na ni atong ako ang kwarta? Right? So wrong saving formula, tell me if this is right or wrong, or para sa ko okay, this is wrong, right? When we get our income, we pay all our expenses, and whatever is left, we save it, right? So possible nga mahurot na nato gastos sa expenses without us saving for that particular cut-off, right? So ang mahitabo, when we get our salary or we get our allowance or we get our allotment, kung asa man agikan atong kwarta or from our businesses, mura tag mahimo og distribution company, because the salary that we are earning, hard-earned, right? Hard-earned money, we are distributing it to these companies, kaniya itong mga expenses every payday, right? So do you think these companies are poor, right? They are very rich, right? So how about this person? If this person gets sick, do you think these companies will help this person? So we need to think about ourselves first. We need to pay ourselves first. So the correct saving formula is that once the income is in, we put or set aside savings, and then whatever is left, we need to manage it to sustain our expenses. So this is how we pay ourselves first, right? Now here in IMG, we are very proud to present to you and to share to you our prosperity formula, right? This is a better formula than the 2-1, right? Now when you get your income, that's 100%, we allocate 10% tithing. So this is giving back to the Lord for all the good things that He has done for us. All we have, including our intellect, our capacity to speak, capacity to compute, everything are all coming or is all coming from the Lord, right? So it's rightful that we're giving back at least 10% of our income, right? And then we start with our savings at 20%. So this is still biblical. If you can still remember Joseph the dreamer, 7 fat calves and 7 thin calves. So the 7 fat calves indicates that there is a harvest of 7 years, and 7 thin calves indicates that there is a famine in 7 years. So how are they going to survive the famine? So Joseph suggested that they need to save 1/5 of the harvest, which is 20% of the harvest, in order for us to survive the famine, right? And then whatever is left, which is the 70%, we will going to manage it for our expenses and our lifestyle, right? So tithing and savings are non-negotiable. So every time we get income, we need to um, spend it first for tithing and saving, and then spend it for your expenses, right? So just a quick reality check. So how are we doing so far? So if we're working for the last 10 years, our average income, for example, is 300,000. So actually, for the last 10 years that we are working, we are supposed to be multimillionaires, right? But the question is, napabay nabilin sa ato ang income for the last 10 years? Did we save something, right? It's not about what you earn that really counts. It's what you keep and how you manage what you keep. So dili jud importante kung dako or gamay ka og sweldo, pero how you keep it and you manage it, that really matters. Right. So another concept in the financial industry to understand how money works is the rule of 72 that Albert Einstein invented. So unsay nasa rule of 72? You take 72 divided by the interest rate where you put your money, it will tell you how many years it will take for your money to double. Right? For example, you open a savings account in the bank at 1% interest rate for 10,000 using the rule of 72. You will need to wait 72 years before it will double to 20,000 pesos. So for instance, you have a friend that offers you 4% interest rate. At 29 years old, you have 100,000. They tell you that if you go back to them at the age of 65, you will get 400,000. Fair enough, because we didn't do anything, right? We just waited. We just have the money and waited, put our time with them, and then get back after how many years? At the age of 65, you will get 400,000. But without us knowing, that friend knows where to invest at 12%. The same number of years waited and the same amount of money, they've actually earned 6.4 million pesos. Ang ibalik sa ato, 400,000 lang, so they earned 6 million pesos. So it's a matter of knowing which facility we need to invest, right? So that's why it's investing the right way or saving the right way. So do you want to get the 6.4 million and understand how to invest at 12% interest rate? Of course, I will take this, right? People who don't understand how money works, they end up working for the money for the rest of their lives. Sakto kaayo. People who understand how money works, they let money work for them. Okay, there will come a time again that we won't be able to work for the money anymore. So there are a few realities that we want to check and we want to share to you. When it comes to securing and saving your future, many people fail. Many hardworking people fail. Many smart people fail. Old and young people fail. Even teachers, whatever profession, engineers, doctors, etc. Many end up retiring without enough savings. These people don't set out to fail. Kinsa ba jud nagplano para mo fail? Wala, di ba? They do because they fail to plan and manage their personal finances because of lack of financial education. Reality number 2, many people believe that financial education is only for the wealthy. Ay dili ko anang invest or save because pandato lang na siya. I don't have enough savings. Actually, it's wrong. Everyone, financial literacy or financial education is for everyone. Right? Many think that the only solution to financial challenges is to borrow money, ang pangutang. Right? Mao nang makasolve sa atong problem. Himuon na tong emergency fund ang atong credit card. Right? So it's not the right way of managing our resources. Reality number 3, many Filipinos or overseas Filipino workers work hard for 20 to 30 years and still end up retiring poor. Dakan ka ani cases, gikan sa gawas, wala man gani halos makakita silang mga anak, pagbalik dire, pobre gihapon or they end up retiring poor. Right? So how we become wealthy in IMG? So number 1, of course, we start with education because we need to learn how money works, right? We provide the financial knowledge. Kinahanglan nato og sakto nga knowledge og right information about finances. So number 2, this is where we execute because education is useless without execution. So unsa man ang pwede provide ni IMG? IMG actually provides the platform to execute the knowledge because we have access to products and services in the financial industry and other benefits that will help us build our solid financial foundation faster and according to our capacity. Right? And then number 3, entrepreneurship. Mindset is very great, especially if we want to build our solid financial foundation. Kaya ang kinahanglan ma-build nato ang solid financial foundation is ang cash flow. So if we want to increase our cash flow, we need to look for a way on how we can build multiple income streams. Right? So just a quick introduction of the members' benefit of IMG. IMG, so we have 48 benefits currently in the and accesses in the membership benefits or platform of IMG. So if you want to learn about this one, just let us know so we can set up a different discussion with you about this. Right? That's all for us tonight. Thank you very much for listening.
Daghang salamat sa atong unang resource person who gave us light on how to live within our means, Mr. Jesus Cardosa. If you have any question for him to elaborate, please, for those in Zoom, post your questions in the chat box. For those watching on Facebook Live, kindly write your questions using the comments facility. Please indicate the name of Mr. Cardosa. He will be responding to it during the Q&A session. Before we proceed with our next speaker, let us have this short intermission. A reminder for us all that COVID is still within our means. Nga unta kitang tanang mga sugpuanon magpakabana. Kay kinsa pa man di ay.
Sudunga nga tong dakbayan nang inahanglan ug tabang. Nagbaguod sa kadaghan sa kalisod nga gisaguban. Unta di na nato ni pasagdan, walay di masulbad kung tanan, magkahius lang sa pagpagkamana. Alang sa usag-usa, kita ragyud ang atong kaluwasan. Kayang gahom anaa sa katawan, kinsa pa man di ay ang magtinabangay, kinsa pa man di ay ang mag-inunungay, kinsa pa man di ay ang magdayong, kita ragihan
kinsa pa man di ay aduna tay ikong usog nga di mabuntog, di mapukan. Dayon ta gihapon nga mag-abot taliwala sa kalistanan. Bawion ta panginabuhi nga napagaan. Balikon ta ang kaninatagang taman nga kaaswagan di atong dakbayan. Maong giyawhang ang tanan, tarag yun ang atong kaluwasan. Kay ang gahom ang naa sa katawan, kinsa pa man di ay ang magtinabangay. Kinsa pa man di ay ang mag-inunungay. Kinsa pa man di ay ang magdayong gitarang gihapon ba'y gamay pangapan ato dasig ba'y gamay pangapan sakripisyo. Ikaw kung kita sa atong paglaom. Subukan, subukan kita ragyud ang atong kaluwasan. Kay ang gahom anaa sa katawan. Kinsa pa man di ay magtinabangay. Kinsa pa man di ay ang maginunungay. Kinsa pa man di ay ang magdayong kitara gihapon ba'y kinsa pa man di ay ang magtinabangay. Kinsa pa man di ay ang mag-inunungay. Kinsa pa man di ay way makapugon sa atong paglaom. Subukan mong subuan mo.
Our second speaker is a Bosconian from the class of 2015 in Don Bosco Technical Institute in Makati City. De La Salle University graduated him with a degree in BS Applied Science, major in Industrial Economics. In his junior year in college, he co-founded the DLSU Investor Society. As a marketing officer, he linked the club with a COL financial group with which he learned Investagram, how to invest, manage, and trade to grow your money in the stock market. He further took and completed the ZFT Masterclass, an intensive trading program. Ladies and gentlemen, to share his knowledge in stock market trading, please welcome Bosconian Rafael Antonio Bustamante.
So good evening, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this webinar with you. to all the parents, to all the teachers, to all the students watching this. I'm really excited to give you this topic. So today we're going to be talking about the stock market. So let's go. I'll be sharing my screen. So I'm recording this as well in Zoom para, alam mo yan, parang kunwari I'm here with you guys, right? It's not a pre-recording. So let's start. Sharing my screen. Full screen. Welcome to Stock Market 101, where this webinar is, I'm gonna make sure that this is a fun and dynamic introduction to investing and trading in the stock market. So let's go. So just a short background about myself. I am Rafael Bustamante. I'm a DLSU economics graduate, and I've been trading since 2018. But I've been in the stock market investing, quote unquote, during 2016, and I'm a full-time trader now. I recently graduated this year, so after I graduated, I went full-time into trading, and I am a ZFT Masterclass alumni. So in our trading community, ZFix Drive Masterclass is our top tier training program, right? And I'm a TF Trading for Rookies community manager. So within the trading community, I handle a group that gives out free learnings about or free education about the stock market. And I trade the Philippine Stock Exchange, and I'm a global trader as well. So I trade the global markets, specifically in Hong Kong and US stocks. So I'm also a Bosconian, by the way. Galing ako Don Bosco, Makati. May buong high school doon ako. Yung shop ko is LX. So kung may manonood dyan na mga LX. So yeah, let's go. So for me, the reason why I went to the stock market is because I want to be rich, diba? The stock market is a platform where you can grow your money. And for me, the goal of being rich is to be generous. So it's really giving back and making the world a better place. So first thing is, what is the stock market? So I want you to imagine this analogy, diba? Fruit market. Pag tatanungin kayo ano yung stock market, think of this fruit market. So, think of it na fruit market, madaming fruits dyan, di ba? May banana, orange, watermelon, grapes, and think of those fruits as specific companies, different companies or different stocks, right? And when you go into a fruit market, hindi mo naman bibilhin lahat ng fruits, right? So, you just buy a specific fruit with a specific weight, di ba? And so, I want you to think about it na yung fruit, yun yung stock or yung company. And yung weight, yun yung shares. Yun yung binibili mo sa stock market. So again, sa fruit market, you buy and sell fruits. And then sa stock market, you buy and sell stocks. But in the stock market, what you generally buy is the shares of the company. So gets nyo yun? Alright. So again yung fruit, yan yung mga companies. And then yung weight ng fruit na bibilhin mo, yun yung shares. Yun yung binibili mo sa stock market. And then yung mga tindera dyan or mga tindera sila ate or kuya, that's what we call brokers. And we're gonna go into that in the next slides. So today, we're gonna be talking about investing versus trading. Kasi baka naririnig nyo yan, invest ka sa stock market or i-trade mo yan stock market. So I want you to imagine na investing is yung turtle and then yung trading is yung rabbit. So if alam niyo yung story na yun, di ba, yung turtle and the rabbit, right? But in this game, I want you to think about it that nobody is a loser. Anyone can be a winner, but at the same time, anyone can be a loser. It depends how you play this game. That's why it's important to invest in the right knowledge. That's why I'm really grateful that you're here and we're talking about this. So let's go. So today, we're going to be talking about investing. So investing is generally, think about it, na it's less risk and slow reward. Bakit less risk? I want you to remember that the stock market is a game of risks and probabilities, but at the same time, opportunities, right? In order to get those opportunities in the stock market, we need to learn how to manage our risk. That's why in investing, this is less risk and slow reward. Slow reward kasi, the reason why it's slow reward, because we hold stocks for the long term, right? We hold it for the long term. So we're going to be talking about the PSEI. Why is this important? Because in the stock market, generally, when you're investing, I want you to remember this. When you're investing in the stock market, generally, you're investing into the PSEI. So what is a PSEI? The PSEI is a Philippine Stock Exchange Index. So the Philippine Stock Exchange Index composes of the top 30 companies in the country. So like in any other country, whether you go in US, in China, in Hong Kong, all countries has this parang PSEI. They have their own top companies. So in the US, pwedeng top 300. Sa ibang countries, top 50. Sa iba naman, top 10 lang. In the Philippines, we have top 30. Right? So it's composed of Ayala, Globe, Mega World, the Metro Bank, SM, BDO, BPI, Jollibee, and other companies that I haven't mentioned. Basta 30 yan. So why is this important? Because when you're investing in the stock market, I want you to remember that the PSEI is a benchmark of your investment growth. So for example, nag-invest ka sa stock market and then nag-grow yung PSEI ng, let's say, 5% for the year. So you should expect na dapat yung investment mo sa stock market is at least 5% or more. Pag hindi, then it means baka your investment in the stock market is not doing so well. All right, that's good. Okay, so how do we start in the stock market? So there are three ways. Traditional brokers, ito yung traditional brokers, yung tatawag ka pa sa sa broker, 'di ba? So usually ito yung old school na nakita natin sa movies. So personally wala akong experience niyan because I do online brokers, right? So online brokers, ito yung just need to go to the internet, look up their website, and then sign up an account, and then here you do your own buy and sell ng mga stocks, right? So you have COL Financial, AAA Equities, Trade Asia. You also have bank brokers such as First Metrosec or BDO Nomura or BPI Trade, right? So you can search them up. Yeah, you can take a screenshot of this and then search them up. So very easy lang naman, straightforward if you want to open an account. And then you have mutual funds. So usually I think ino-offer ng banks and insurance companies, di ba? So like Sun Life, AXA, IMG. So yan, when I mentioned yung PSEI, usually when you invest into mutual funds, the fund manager is investing it into the PSE. So usually, sa top 30 companies, yung fund manager, pipili lang yan ng 10. Tapos dyan nilalagay yung funds mo. Right? So sa mutual funds, you don't directly hold your money. Right? Meron tayong fund manager. Okay? That's clear? So how do we earn from this? There are two ways, no? Dividends and appreciation. This is both for investing and trading rin. So dividends, think about it na ito yung profit sharing or pa-bonus ng company sa'yo kasi nag-invest ka sa nila, which in return, na they hope na you reinvest it to their companies para mas madami silang capital na magamit, right? And then to appreciation, think about it na you buy a stock at a lower price and then you sell it at a higher price. So for example, para siyang bumibili ka ng bahay, di ba? You buy a house at a low price with the expectation na it increases price in the future. So parang ganon. Let's say you buy 1,000 shares of stock A worth 1 peso. So you invested 1,000 pesos, right? And then let's say after 1 year, nag-increase ng 2 pesos yung stock A. So with your 1,000 shares times 2, that's 2,000 pesos. So you already gained 1,000 pesos or doble na ng capital mo. That's price appreciation in the stock market. So for the past 10 years, I want to show this graph, right? This is the PSEI for the past 10 years. When you invested in 2010, January, fast forward now. So this is I made this presentation around October, right? Fast forward now, your investment would have gained. Dapat, if you invested 10 years ago, dapat at least 93% yung inangat ng pera mo. Kasi we're saying that the PSEI is the benchmark, right, of your investments. But for the past 5 years, when you invested 2015, fast forward now, bumaba na negative 19% yung investment mo. So that's the benchmark. So I'm showing you this because I want to remove this misconception na parang if the longer you are in the stock market, sure nakikita ka. No, it's not like that. Again, the stock market is a game of risks and probabilities. There's a probability it's going to go up. There's a probability it's going to go down. The reason why we're doing this presentation is to show, I will show you how can we avoid these things. Na parang past 5 years ka na stock market tapos di ka pa kumikita. Right? I'm gonna show you how can we avoid this. Na parang to make sure na we're gonna go into a stock na kikita siya. Okay? So why are we doing this? Why are we investing? It's to beat inflation, right? To beat bank returns and to prepare for the future at the same time to help people. I want you to remember this kasi it's important that you have a clear goal and objective when you're investing or trading the stock market. Now, we go into trading. In trading, this is high risk and high reward. I want you to think about it na trading is the business side of the stock market. If you're going to go into trading, you need to treat this as a business, right? Kasi this is high risk and high reward. So, yan. So what is the truth behind trading? Kasi mamaya may iba dito nakikita natin sa trading, easy money lang, or naririnig natin dito na trading is a casino, right? So we're gonna debunk these things today. So I'm gonna show you the truth behind trading. Kasi I myself is a trader, so I'm gonna show it to you. Right? So this one, Dito Telecoms is again, I posted this. I made this presentation around October, right? So Dito Telecoms is the third telco in the Philippines. So we have PLDT, then we have Globe, then we have Dito Telecoms, right? So for the past from September to October, 1 month or 3 weeks and 21 days, nag-grow yung Dito Telecoms ng 100%. So if you time that correctly, you could have gained 100% in the stock, right? So compared to this Jollibee, right? Compared if you invested 10 years ago in Jollibee and then fast forward now, your investment could have only gained 160%. Right? Siguro ngayon umakyat 10, let's say sabihin natin 170%. In 10 years, compared sa Dito Telecoms, na if na-timingan mo lang ng properly, you could have gained 100% in 3 weeks, right? Crazy, no? That's the reality of trading. But I want to show you this. Hindi lang happy-happy tayo sa stock market. Look at this Merrimart. This is a company that was listed in the stock market this year. If you invested in the wrong time in Merrimart, you could have dropped your investment ng negative 38% in 1 day. Na baka mamaya, since wala ka ng gana, inalis mo. Right? If you say na you put 100K, then in that day, you could have seen your investment drop negative, nawalan ka ng negative 38, nawalan ka ng 38,000. Of course, it's paper money, but what if inalis mo? Then magmamaterialize yun, right? These are the realities of the stock market. So this is the bad side if you don't know what you're doing, right? Pwede ka, na sinasabi nila that you need to diversify in the stock market. What if ganyan yung diversification mo? Gone wrong, right? If you see down below, yung First Metro Save and Learn Equity, that's a mutual fund. Fund manager na, a professional is handling it, and it's down negative 19%. Right? So again, the stock market is a game of risk, probabilities, and opportunities. So today I'm going to show you a way or a technique on how to make money, or a strategy on how we can make sure that our investments are protected, at least protected, right? So I'm going to share to you my best trading gains for the year. So we have here CHP, Cement Holdings Company. I'm a trader, so I don't generally look at what's happening in the stock. I just look at price action, okay? And charts. So CHP, I gained around 25%, so that's around 6,000 pesos. Diba? Depending on my capital. My second trade is Dito Telecoms, the one I showed you earlier. I gained 41% or 29,000 pesos. And this one, the third one, is Dito Telecoms. I gained 63%. Tinanggal ko yung gain because I want you to focus on the percent, right? The percent is very important kasi that's the skill that you're gonna be able to scale in the future, right? So take note that your earnings are dependent on your capital, right? Your profit is relative to your capital. So if you put 100,000 and gain 10%, kikita ka ng 10,000 pesos. But if naglagay ka lang ng 1,000 pesos, tapos kahit kumita yan ng 100%, kikita ka lang ng 1,000 pesos. So sorry if maingay kasi the dogs are barking in the background. So trading in the stock market is simple. Understanding it is simple. But making money out of it is not easy. Kasi you need to be systematic and objective. Kasi kalaban mo talaga dito yung sarili mo. So it's the same thing with investing, no? So how do we earn from this? You'll be learning two things: candlesticks and moving averages. Candlestick, so yan, you can pause it and then read it or take a picture. But generally, the candlestick, ito lang pinapakita yung movement ng stock for the day. If it's black or red, then it means bumaba yung stock for the day. If it's green or white, that means umangat yung stock for the day. Are we clear with that? Okay? So yan, di ba? If green, umangat. If red, bumaba. Moving averages, on the other hand, is basically the price average number for the past number of days. So if it's a 20-day moving average, yan yung average ng price ng stock for the past 20 days. If it's 100 days. Why are we using this? Because in the stock market here in the Philippines, we generally gain our money on an uptrend. And with moving averages, we easily determine the trend of a stock, right? So here's a strategy, right? So we buy a stock if the price is above the 20 and moving 100-day average. And then we sell if the price hits below the 100-day moving average. So you can see the picture, di ba? Na we buy if nasa taas yung price ng dalawang moving average. And then we sell if it breaks the 20-day moving average. So we're looking for uptrends here, right? Because the easy money are made on the uptrends. So I'm going to share to you my Dito trade. This is not exactly how I approach the trade, but I'm going to share to you that this strategy works if the stock is going to an uptrend, right? So if let's say we bought on that candle, so may green arrow, right? And then we sell kung saan nag-break you sa red line. So 20-day is the red line, and then the 100-day is the blue line, right? And then if bumaba siya doon, we gained 22% in 28 days, right? Not bad, di ba? Hindi pinupulot ng 22%. My CHP trade, so let's say same strategy, but this is not exactly how I made, di ba, mine, because I use a different strategy. But we're using this principle because I want to show you that this simple strategy works in the stock market. So if we bought in the green arrow again, sell at the red arrow, that's 23% gain in 34 days, right? Ito naman, investing application. Let's say, trading lang naman yun eh. So, let's say, ayoko naman maging trader, gusto ko lang maging investor. So, let's say this one, URC. So, this, since long-term tayo, one candle here represents 1 month, right? So, you can explore how to do this in the internet. Madali lang naman. I'm using Investograms, by the way. So, here, right, if you, let's say, invested 2010, and then we followed our simple strategy, we could have gained 1,000% in 5 years. Kasi nagbenta tayong 2015 eh. 2015 siya na hit. Right? Compared, if hinold mo pa hanggang ngayon, after 10 years, 700% na lang. Diba? You could have saved your 300% if you followed their simple strategy. Right? Next up, Jollibee. So here, nakita mo na parang madami tayong buy and sell. It's because we're avoiding those drawdowns in our portfolio and we're locking in the gains, right? So if we follow the simple strategy, we could have locked in 200%, and then 6%, and then 27%. So see, if hindi natin nilock in yung mga gains natin, there's a possibility na we could have lost negative 16% or worse, negative 67%, right? So here's the investing application. Na if you hold it until 10 years ago to now, 250% or 240% yung gain mo sa Jollibee. If ayaw mo sundan yung simple strategy natin, right? So here, trading application. ATN, so you don't know the stock, and I don't know what the stock is also, but I traded this. Sa trader talaga, tinignan mo lang yung chart. So if you pumasok ka dyan sa green arrow, and then sold at the red line, right? The breakdown of the red line, you could have gained 87% in 31 trading days or in 1 month. Not bad, di ba? 87%. But if hinold mo hanggang ngayon, right? Kasi sabi mo, maganda naman pasok ko eh. Trader ako, pero dito invest ko na lang. Right? Fast forward now, that's 2018. Fast forward 2020, 5% na lang. Sayang 87% gain na dapat kinita mo. That's why we're applying this strategy so that we can lock in the gains that we earn from the market. Hindi na natin ibabalik. So the possibilities of trading, right? Or investing in the stock market. So in this case, I'm going to show you trading, right? Earning through trading stocks is again relative to your capital. If you put 150,000 and it goes up 50% in a day, you'll be earning around 70,000. If you put 1.5 million on one trade and it goes up 50% in a day, you'll be earning around 700,000. So for example, this is the portfolio of my mentor, Z-Freaks, right? Mary Mart, pumasok siya, halos two different portfolios. Sa isa, pumasok siyang 150K, kumita ng at almost 50%, kumita siya ng 72,000 pesos. Yung next yung portfolio, naglagay siya ng almost naglagay siya ng 1.5M, gain 50%, and then kumita siya ng almost 750,000 pesos. So that's trading. It depends on your capital. So why are we doing this? Why am I trading? Because I see this as a new career, and then it also gives me time freedom to do the things that I want to do. And it's a life enabler. I see it as a life enabler na I get to do the things I want to do, spend time with my family, invest time in being great at my passion, and all these things, right? Serving the Lord. So, ganon. So if you're interested to know more, either investing or trading, knowing more about candlesticks, moving averages, determining trends, this is our free group, right? This is totally free. Trading for Rookies by ZFT. Search it on Facebook, right? Or you can use the link http bit.ly forward slash trading for rookies. Yeah. And last question, either you're a student or teacher or staff, are you doing something your future self will thank you for? The fact that you're in this webinar, and if nandito ka pa, thank you so much, because again, the stock market is such a great opportunity. And the fact that you're here listening to this webinar, and if you continue to invest yourself to it, for sure your future self will thank you for this. So this is our Facebook page. If you want to message me regarding questions, you can directly message me. Yan yung profile picture ko. Search me, Rafael Bustamante. And please like our page if you want to know more about what we're doing. So thank you so much for having me today. I really enjoyed giving this webinar. I hope hindi ako masyado mabilis and hindi naman kayo naguluhan. If you have any questions, clarifications, please do message me. And I'll see you soon. Bye!
Maraming salamat sa ating pangalawang resource person who gave us valuable insights in stock market trading, Bosconian Rafael Antonio Bustamante. Again, if you have questions for him to elaborate, for those in Zoom, please post your questions in the chat box. For those watching on Facebook Live, you may write your questions using the comment facility. Kindly indicate the name of Mr. Bustamante. He will be responding to it during the Q&A session that will now follow.
Syempre, the bigger the gains that you can get. Here in the Philippines, wala tayong tinatawag na leverage. So leverage is, for example, you have 1,000, let's say 10,000 pesos, 10,000 pesos lang magamit mo. And when you're trading in other countries, or hindi naman other countries, but when you're trading globally, you can it's the same, no? We have online brokers that has here in the Philippines. So online lang yan. You can use leverage na, for example, yung 10,000 mo, pwede maging 50,000, something like that. Pero again, the higher the capital you have, the bigger the risk. So it depends. So that's a different topic, but I'm just giving you a picture on yung possibilities ba ng trading. So, yon. I hope that answered your question, Michael. If you have follow-up just or clarification, just comment it.
Yeah, can you hear me, Sir Raf?
Yes.
I'm sorry, let me start the video. Yeah. Kasi may na-mention din before from other docs, like there are in and outs, overheads for these brokers.
Yes. So ano po yung question doon sa ano?
Michael, you're on mute.
Naka-mute ka ata. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. How will that affect, sir? Your minimum startup figures.
So ano ba to, yung mga fees, yung tinatawag na fees?
Yes, po.
Yeah, so sa fees naman, when you're trading the Philippine market, when you're trading, no, yung fees naman is hindi naman siya masakit. Like think about it na parang it's around per trade is around 1% eh. So think about it, 2% in and out. So kasi naman sa stock market, pag kumita ka na doon, yun ay kita mo. Wala ka nang babayaran ng tax and everything. So treat it as parang yung transaction fees mo, tapos yung tax and everything. So you don't need to worry about that. But here in the Philippines, yung sinasuggest, meron tayong tinatawag na 8,000 rule. So that means na in order na hindi ka malugi dun sa fees mo, your transaction, per transaction should be more than at least 8,000 pesos para hindi malugi yung transaction mo when you're transacting.
Okay.
Pero when it comes to different, like when you're trading, let's say, forex exchange or mga cryptocurrency na yan, just research on it. Pero in the Philippines, kasi we're talking about, I discussed Philippine Stock Exchange, no? That's how you look at it.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
And before I will ask the second question, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Father Principal, Father Wilbert Yanon. Good evening, Father.
Good evening, everyone.
Can you turn on your video, Father? All right.
Good evening, and thank you for our two speakers, Sir Jess and Sir Busta.
Okay. Um, so our second question is from Sir Paul, our assistant principal. Do you have for Sir Rafael Bustamante? Do you have any suggestion for the best online stockbroker for now, of if you can?
Okay, so I can't say na best. So kasi hindi ko naman lahat na experience. But since in our community, madami na narinig na reviews. So ako personally, this is my personal advice, personal experience ba. So if you're going into investing in the stock market, I think I could suggest COL Financial is a good platform. Why? Because aside from investing in stocks or trading stocks, you can also invest in mutual funds. So since na-mention ko kanina, di ba, may mutual funds. So if you're looking for a convenient way and an easier way to monitor it, COL is a good platform na you can buy stocks at the same time invest in mutual funds. So if you're going into trading, right, my personal experience is AAA equities and 2Trade Asia. Bakit? Because you can automate your trades there. So by meaning by automate, you can set, for example, automatic buy orders. If na-hit yung trigger ko ng buy order, boom, siya na mag-execute for you. Same thing with the sell order. So those are my suggestions. Meron ibang brokers, yung mga banks like BDO Nomura, BPI Trade, First Metro, but I don't have any personal experience, so I can't comment on them. So those three, yan, mako-comment ko yan kasi okay for me. So yun. So ako, if you're going to trade, is it just 2Trade or AAA? If you're going to invest, COL. Yun.
Any follow-up question, Sir Paul? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the answer.
Okay. And we have another question for Sir Rafael. From Ma'am Dice. At what age did you start trading? You mentioned you started at 2016, so we're trying to count your age now.
Okay, sorry, hindi ko pala nasabi, no. So I started in the stock market, no. Kasi just more background about myself. My mom was a financial advisor. So naririnig ko yung stock market sa kanya and yung mutual fund. So sabi ko sa niya, ano ba ginagawa ng mutual fund? Sino nag-handle nun? Fund manager. Ano ginagawa ng fund manager? Nag-manage ng fund sa stock market. Nag-invest generally, basically, no. So I went into that, I researched. Sabi ko, uy, if kaya ko naman gawin sa sarili ko, ba't hindi na lang ako? So yun, so I opened an account when I was 20. I was, taon ba ako nun? I think I was 2016. I think I was 18 years old or 17 years old. So, yun. So, yung purpose ko lang doon was just to invest. And then, invest pa nun kasi kala ko basta maglagay ka ng pera, investor ka na, no? So, and then 2018, so 2016 to 2018, I was reading blogs about trading. Tapos yun nga, nakita ko yung mentor ko. And then, sabi ko, grabe sila kumita sa stock market. What are they doing? So, they're not investing pala, they're trading. So, I started trading 2018, no? So 2018 to 2020, this year, I was really enrolling in courses, joining in different programs, and then those 2 years, dugi talaga ako. So isipin mo yan, at those 2 years, this year pa lang ako nagiging profitable. So yeah, so far it was the journey is really rewarding kasi parang nagugulat ka na, uy, the process talaga. So yeah, so this year, I was 20 years old when I explored trading, and then ngayon ako nagiging profitable. So after 2 years. So parang siyang business talaga. Treat trading as a business in the stock market. Na parang if magne-negosyo ka naman, hindi ka naman kagad kumikita, di ba? So yun.
Okay. Any follow-up question, Ma'am Dice? I'm sorry, mute ka, Ma'am Dice.
Nothing more for Sir Rafael. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
Any more questions from our parents?
Ma'am Jan, I
Yes,
just
Ma'am
want to
Dice.
commend lang both speakers because they really tells you about they really this is very really very helpful for all of us, and especially for trading because we are not familiar with that actually as rap bosta, so we're not familiar with that, especially women and housewives. And then for the five, I'd like to commend also Sir Jesse for the five building blocks because I can see personally these are five, and then we don't see priorities, the top priority which we should as a as we raise a family.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ma'am Dice.
Thank you.
John, there is still a question from one of our teachers, Miss Antoinette Bayadog. Can you read her question, please?
I'm sorry, but I don't see her question.
Okay, let me just read it. She says, "Hello po. I'm a general mathematics teacher and our lessons include stocks and bonds. As my students become more interested, they like to join trading. May I ask which platform would you recommend?"
So, ito, kasi I just give you, may student ba dito? I think lahat naman are teachers, no?
Um,
The
Can-
senior high students were
Or,
encouraged to view
so they're watching if ever in Facebook.
because we're, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. So just to give you as sige, kwento muna, kwento. So when I entered, so I'm a Bosconian, right? So technical school, right? So I entered college, engineering, 'di ba? Kasi technical school, sabi ko tutuloy ko to sa college. And then it was first year college that I discovered the stock market. Then sabi ko, I'm so interested in this. And then I started failing my subjects because I was trading. So the people watching this, the students watching this, don't rush your studies, right? Nandyan lang yan. Trading is very accessible. The stock market is always there. So know your priorities as a student. So ano lang ha. And then I shifted economics. I thought that when I shift, I'm gonna study more about the stock market. Yun pala, hindi. So sabi ko, nandito na ako. I'll just finish my course and just tapusin ko na lang. So I'm sharing this kasi to you ma'am who asked this question, no, kasi baka mamaya you're gonna trading kasi is very easy right now. It's like playing a game, eh. That's why I got interested in the first place. Like you just need your phone, and then you just need to learn how to read a chart, and then that's it. You can make money out of it. Especially now, also yung mga cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and everything. It's getting really accessible to the Gen Z and millennials, right? So to the students, ayun nga, like what I said, if regarding platforms, it depends on what they're gonna use. For example, if they're gonna trade cryptocurrency, they can research online. Pero in terms of Philippines nga, I suggest AAA equities and 2-3 Asia. And if they want to learn more, right, para kumbaga hindi lang puro pera yung nakikita nila, I suggest you invite them for trading for rookies. Why? Kasi there we don't only teach how to trade, we teach how to succeed in life. Kumbaga, we build the right habits for you to become a successful trader. Kasi in our community, we believe what happens to you on the outside of trading, what happens to you in your life will just be reflected in your trading performance. So if madami kang problema sa buhay and you don't address it, that's gonna reflect in your trading performance kasi yung galit mo, you're being emotional, that's gonna reflect in your trades. So yun ma'am, if since you're a teacher, you can invite them to join this community, and then dun talaga actually, so I'm just part of this community, right, ZFT. Dun nila ako sa lahat ng trading here in the Philippines, madami kasi, pero sa lahat ng sinalihan ko, dun lang sila lang nag-advise sa akin when I was a college student na tapusin mo muna yung studies mo. The market will always be there. At yung ibang community, sabi nila na hindi, focus ka sa trading, walang ano, mas kikita ka dyan kaysa sa school. Sa ZFT, sa Trading for Rookies, doon nila sinabi sa akin na parang finish your studies because you're doing that for your parents. So, yun. So, talagang, and from there, up to now, they're still guiding me. And kumbaga, kahit may times na lugi ako sa stock market, I know I have a trading community that's there for me for life. So that's what we're trying to build, right? So yun. I hope that answered your question, madam.
Okay, we have another question for Mr. Rafael. How many hours a day do you allocate for trading?
Okay, this is a big
Miss
misconception, no?
Abigail.
Kasi pag nakikita mo sa mga movies or sa mga K-drama, 'di ba? Sa startup or Taiwan class, kita mo daming screens, 'di ba? Daming screens, lagi nakatutok, 'di ba? Daming kailangan i-research. This is actually not true. This is a very kumbaga OA reaction, no? This is so ako personally, hours of trading when trading proper within market hours, usually 1 hour max. Why? Because the work talaga of a trader happens before the market opens. It's happening when you're planning, when you're screening, 'di ba? Like parang sa negosyo lang naman eh. Yung when you're having a business, usually nasa store ka lang naman, 'di ba? And you're just waiting for customers to come in, or when you're having an online business, you're just waiting for the customers to message. What the real work happens in the backstage, right? When you're preparing your inventory, when you're preparing your marketing strategy, right? Same thing with trading. The work happens the night before or hours before. Na you're studying, you're planning your trades, what stock to trade, what setup you're gonna put, right? So Miss Abigail, this depends, right? Of course, since beginner ka, the more hours you should allocate. But yung tulad ng mentor ko, parang natatawa nga ako kasi, di ba, in the Philippines, open ng market is 9:30, right? So siya, gigising siya 9:25, tapos bangon lang siya, tapos trade na siya, gano'n. Tapos pag tapos na siya, uy, okay na yung market, magdodota na siya, gano'n. Sabi ko, grabe, so ganito siya kumita sa stock market, no? But that just shows his mastery in the game. So, ayun, so if you want to, ako personally, when I was starting, I allocate 5 hours. Not in trading, but in studying. Yung hours ko in trading, just like 1 hour, tingin-tingin lang, and then if wala. Kasi ngayon, it's very easy. You have technology, so you have what we call alerts. You can automate your trades. So everything, if nag-trigger na yung trade mo, may magte-text na lang sa'yo, and then, yun na, saka ako titignan yung trade, right? So, ganun.
Okay, thank you. For Sir Jess, you mentioned about the prosperity formula earlier. That's 10% tithes and 20% savings to 70% expenses. Do you have a prosperity formula also that is applicable for students?
Yes, Miss Jan. Actually, that formula still applies for everyone. For instance, for students, normally we teach this one kahit sa magtagalog na lang ko para makasabot ang uban, no? Kahit sa mga pamangkin, because let's say we teach this kid to, or the student, let's say from the allowance that they're getting, let's say they have 100 pesos per day or even more, let's say 100 pesos. So if they learn how to apply the prosperity formula, so they give 10 pesos for tithing, then they start saving 20 pesos. They learn to spend their money 70 pesos, diba? So if they grow older, if they because if you can't manage small amount of money, how can you manage big amount of money?
Yes.
To complement on Rap's idea on trading, that's good that student can be very attracted to trading, etc. And that's good because they already have that interest. But at the end of the day, if we don't have money to trade, we can't really trade, right? So we need to manage our cash flow first. So cash flow is very important. So if we can manage those little amount of money that is given from to us by our parents as students, later on, if we have those enough savings, we can actually expand it by investing, by diversifying it in different investment facilities.
Yes.
Okay,
So I want to add lang sa sinabi ni Sir Jess. This is very true. Na, di ba, napansin niyo dun sa slide na pinakita ko when I was showing my best trades na in the stock market, you need to think of percentages. Kasi in this game, in the finance game, it's all about thinking in percentage. Kasi it's scaling up, right? It's building the habit. So ako, as a student, galing ako student, one of the things siguro na nakatulong sa akin is instead of getting my allowances per day or per week, if kaya naman ng parents, I do it per month. Para talaga nakuha mo yung habit na parang, okay, ito yung ang laki na nakuha kong pera as a student. So para kailangan ko i-budget ito yung for tithes, ito na for savings, ito na gagastusin ko. Yeah. So, yun.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we have another question from Miss Abigail. To Sir Rafael, are taxes for your games automatically deducted from the proceeds, or do you need an accountant to handle tax duties?
Yes, automatic na siya. So you don't need to file it sa BIR.
Okay, thank
So
you.
kasama na siya sa fees. So yun.
Okay, thank you. Do we have questions? Other questions?
Yeah, anyone in Zoom who might want to ask a question to our resource persons, please come forward. Turn on your mic and video and ask your question. Anyone? Wala na. At this juncture, Mr. President, our President Don Vincent Habagat, could you please turn on your microphone? Press Dan. Okay, he's there now. Jess and Rafael, thank you for coming and for giving the insights to our fellow parents, teachers, and students, and some friends who are here in Zoom and also on Facebook. And by the way, we would like to acknowledge that the participation here is not only limited to Don Bosco Cebu and Don Bosco Makati. We also have from Don Bosco Victorias in the person of Miss Regina Escleva. Miss or Madam, you might have a question. Please hesitate not to come forward. In the meantime, President Dan, let us present our certificates of appreciation first to our first speaker, and our President will do the presentation. Mr. President.
Okay. Don Bosco Technical College Cebu Incorporated, Parents Teachers Community Association presents this certificate of appreciation to Jesus Cardosa Jr. for sharing. It's too small. I cannot. For sharing his valuable knowledge as a resource person in our second webinar, managing and building up family resources on living within your means. Given this 11th day of December 2020, signed by our principal, Father Wilbert Dianon SDB, DBTC Bed Principal, and signed by Mr. Dan Vincent S. Habagat, DBTC PTCA 2020 President, and Ms. Felina Bacatan Taveros, President, Parents Development Committee, Chairman.
Okay, this certificate of appreciation is for you, Jesse. Thank you very much. Pakpak tawid.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And also the next one, press for Rafael Bustamante.
Okay. Don Bosco Technical College Cebu Incorporated, Parents Teachers Community Association presents this certificate of appreciation to Rafael Bustamante for sharing his valuable knowledge as a resource person in our second webinar, managing and building up family resources on Stock Market 101. Given this 11th day of December 2020, signed by Father Wilbert Is Dianon SDB, our DBTC Bed Principal, and Mr. Dan Vincent S. Habagat, our DBTC PTCA 2020 President, and Ms. Felina Bacatan Taveros, Parents Development Committee Chairman, school year 2020-2021.
Okay. Naabay pahabol yung mga question? A message lang from Madam Rahina Escleva of Don Bosco in Victoria. She said, all the questions I have in mind were already answered by the speakers. Thank you very much. May we ask our speakers for their parting shot? May we start with you, Jessie Cardosa? Parting message, please.
Thank you, Sir Win. Again, thank you, Don Bosco family, for having us tonight to somewhat like share some insights. Though it's just a super overview, so we have specific topics on those items. So going back to the solid financial foundation, I know Rap is actually talking about the investment and stock trading. So basically for the items that we've shared earlier for the solid financial foundation, let's just take it block by block, especially if we are starting with in the financial industry, because we don't want to lose our hard-earned money just that, right? So it's not an easy game, or it's not just like eating peanuts, right? So we have to ensure that we're properly equipped. Anyway, again, it's not late for everyone. We are all given equal opportunities, so let's take advantage of it, learn more, and then share the good news. Do not hide the oasis. If you see oasis in the desert, share it. Thank you. That's all for me.
Daghang salamat, Jessie, and Busta for your parting shot.
Yeah, daming opportunities sa stock market. So if you have the opportunity to grab it, go. And if yung mga students if nagpo-phone or if distracted sa classes because of some trading, just remind them. And kasi important lang naman they find the right community, kasi the habits that they learn, and if you're gonna go into this game, the habits that you learn will really make you a better person. So I hope if you're into this, our community is open for you. So I'll see you when I see you. Good luck, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me as well.
Thank you, Rafael. May we ask everyone to please turn on your videos, and we will have our class picture for this second webinar. Pwede ba natong mahangyo ang atong mga kaubanang mga ginikanan o mga magtutudlo? Kung pwede inyong buksan ang inyong camera para atong makita ang atong kagwapo, kagwapa. Mag-class picture ta. The others, please. Can you? Okay. All right. Oh, Carlito Juba. Glad to see you again. It's been ages.
Hey, Sir Sherwin. Good evening.
May gabi.
Just listening, busy preparing for our Sinulog, Cebu.
Okay. All right. Hinahinay nag-on ang atong mga camera. And I'm glad that my elder brother is here, Ice Irving. Wala kay pangutana, no? Okay, so everyone, smile for the picture. Mais. Okay, let us check. All right, so last call. Any question? Kung wala na, let us listen to the closing message of our Parents Development Committee Chairperson, Ma'am Felina Taberos Bakatan.
Good evening, dear parents. Thank you very much for participating in the webinar. I know this is a very busy time of the year, but you still went out of your way to be with us and join us in this webinar. I also would like to thank the speakers for sharing their insights and providing us some tips and strategies on how we can efficiently and effectively manage our resources, especially that we have an ongoing crisis. So thank you very much as well. Lastly, I would like to thank the Board of Trustees, the PTCA Board of Trustees, especially the Parents Development Committee for spearheading this webinar, for preparing and organizing everything. And so thank you very much. We do hope to see you, dear parents, again in the next webinar. Just wait for any updates from your grade level representatives. This is going to be a regular thing, so hopefully you can also spread the news to other parents so that we can reach more parents through our activities in the PTCA. Again, thank you and Merry Christmas to everyone.
All right, daghang salamat, Ma'am Felina. And everyone, once again, on behalf of our President, Don Vincent Habagat, and the Board of Trustees of Don Bosco Cebu Parents Teachers Community Association, daghang salamat for joining us in this second webinar of our PTCA. And if you have any suggestion for a topic in the next webinar, please hesitate not to inform us or ask us. Either you send it through our Facebook portals, your suggestions, and we would be glad to organize it for you. So once again, everyone, daghang salamat and good evening.